Okay, everybody, time has come to be real open, all right? Why don't you take it from the middle position?
To make people feel comfortable.
To make people feel comfortable. To make people feel comfortable. Well, that's very, very complicated. Because it's not, I perceive that as a derivation of a set of dynamics of trying to be a peacemaker. Okay? That's not a strength. That is your weakness. The strength is telling people when you're hurt. The weakness is being afraid that your opinion is going to offend someone, so you want to be friends with the world. And it sounds to me, I would guess, that you had an unapproachable mother. There's someone in the family that if you spoke out to, and you expressed your feelings openly, that you ran the risk of a war starting. Someone was very short-tempered.
Keep fishing.
What?
Keep fishing.
That's not fishing. See, when you have a desire to make people comfortable, it must come from being around people who are uncomfortable, that in their discomfort caused you pain. Who in your life was uncomfortable?
My mother.
That's what I'm saying. How is she uncomfortable?
She was uncomfortable in her marriage.
And if you came to her with one of your problems and you said, why don't you get divorced, what would she have said to you?
She was afraid.
And that fear would have done what?
Threatened her security and
hurt her.
And hurt
So
her.
Your mother's marriage to your father was a hurtful relationship to you.
Okay.
It has to be. It's an unhappy marriage,
Yes.
Unhappy home. Therefore, that was hurting you. So for you to be able to say, I hurt your mother, made her to have discomfort. Your strength is the capacity to express your truthfulness about your feelings openly. Your weakness is covering that up by trying to make peace for everyone. And I fished right the first time, right into the central body of the water.
Being dependable.
Well, Mr. Undependable. But that's the weakness. When you think of the times you have screwed up, you're just not there for anybody. Because see, let me just tell you how this goes. It's very strange. The strength can be dependable. That's the strength. The weakness is to be undependable or to be dependable to a fault. To be so dependable that you don't let other people be free. You get right into their life and you end up controlling them. My strength is my honesty, remember that? My weakness is my dishonesty. But I can also be honest to a fault. How'd you like to get in an argument with me when I chose as a way to get at you to tell you everything that was wrong with you? Wouldn't that be a nice 30 or 45 seconds? Because you couldn't stand it much longer, trust me. So the weakness is the overextension and the opposite of the strength. Okay, some more of this. This is
intuition.
Intuitive. Okay? That's wonderful. But the weakness is that you become thick as a brick and don't get it. In someone else's life, you can say, gee, I know what's going to happen, you should take care of this, and you can read 3 or 4 lines of history that are about to happen. You can make accurate predictions. But when it comes to an area that you're threatened by, your intuitiveness goes out the window, and you can't even see the truck coming right in the way. It's the blindness to the intuition. It's being thick as a brick.
I think my strength is being smart and analyzing details.
Notice how he said that. Everyone else would have said smart. He says, he hedges. I think my strength is being able to analyze details. I think we're covered. He may be wrong, but he didn't say, I'm sure that. The man hath the soul of a consultant. You see, everything you say about yourself gives you away, and even if you're trying to correct it so that you don't appear weak, it's all there. Because if you appear strong, it'll appear too strong, which will reflect the weakness. Making other people feel comfortable. Where would that come from? Do you understand? You're totally exposed and transparent whether anybody else gets it or sees it or not, because they will pick up the totality of you, and when you're trying to take a risk, they will see the truth of you, and you will be in your own way. Oh, now we have to answer this. Attention to details. Cannot see the forest for the trees. Gets lost in the details. Can make a detail so important that the detail can be used as an excuse for blocking the forward progress. And a tendency to be able to see things, but not to be able to sort them by value. Okay, this is wrong, let it go. This is wrong, let it go. We'll keep the flow going. The flow's the most important. No, we got to hold that here. We got to hold that. We got a dam being built. The water's going. Everyone says, "What's holding this up?" Well, there are a few things that aren't exactly right. And that's what kills it. Some things matter, some things don't matter. If everything matters, then nothing matters. Do you understand that? And that's what the person who gets caught in details loses. More on this, or are you starting? This is critical to understanding the things that get in the way of you being able to take a risk. You know, when you take a risk, there's a loss involved. At the moment of taking that leap, me climbing to the next stone, I'm saying, oh my God, I can feel it in my back all of a sudden. I didn't feel it in the other fishing place, but I can suddenly feel it. And I don't know whether I have the strength in my leg to lead, and I don't have the room to go, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to fish. I'd rather play cards. You know, every part of me is going bananas inside. I don't want to do this. But at the moment of risk, you start sorting the evidence to win your point. And if the point is, I shouldn't risk, and let me give you 150 reasons why I shouldn't, you'll get 150 reasons. Reality is neither good nor bad, right or wrong. It's just there. You know you're not going to get out of here alive. Anyone doubt this? At the end of this, they kill you. You do all this hard work. You vote in the elections. You do jury duty. You bring up kids. You pay your bills. Right? You make your contribution to society lesser or greater, and they kill you. At the end of it, you're dead. I'm sorry. Is there anyone who didn't know that? Well, I say to you, if you're going to die your own death, you might as well live your own life. Now, what's wrong with that? They punish you by taking it away from you. Why not live it? Am I speaking a language that sounds unrealistic? John Greenleaf Whittier once wrote, "The saddest words of mouth or pen are these: it could have been." I want you to know something. It doesn't need to be that way. You can have your life. You can only have your life. You cannot be what someone else did. And indeed, if you try to walk in another person's footsteps to become them, you will surely fail even if you become them, because what you were put here for was to become you. You were incarnated, given the divine spark to become you, not to imitate. And if you try to do it someone else's way, you are doomed to failure, because their way, the successful person's way, has the dynamics of the successful person's past failures and lessons learned and character development, because everything depends on everything else. It took everything you did in your life to get to this place, to be sitting in this seat today. It took everything. Why do you think you could possibly imitate someone else's life? And to hold a child up by comparing them to Abraham Lincoln or Albert Einstein is foolish. It's absolutely silly. Because the only person who would hold you up to such an ideal is a person who feels slagging in their own self-image. Now, what I want you to get from today is to understand that you can succeed and win, but only as yourself. That your success is not unlimited. It's not unlimited. It's limited by what you have. Now you have to hear this. It will be possible to use the techniques that you're going to learn today to overcome, to go out and make $1 million. But if that's all you're doing, it may not be a success. What's the point of becoming a billionaire if you don't feel comfortable about yourself? I'm talking about the success that generates success. I'm talking about the success that makes where you are right now feel successful because you realize you're on the road to success, and therefore, since you're on the right road, you can enjoy the ride. We're going to the mountains. Are we? That's great. But we're in the farmlands right now. I know, because you have to go through the farmlands and the alluvial flans and then up the windy roads to the mountains, because that's the way you go. So, does that mean I hate being in the farmlands? Are you going to do that to yourself? Don't let anyone put you down for where you are on the trip. The problem with many people is they hang around the lowlands so long that they despise themselves for being there. Okay, maybe you have tarried too long at one particular step in risking. We're going to fix that. But if the place you're risking to is not a place where you can look at yourself and say, I am what I want to be, and I like myself, and there's a lot more coming, and best of all, I like the ride, I like the trip, I like my life, and I enjoy being myself along the way.